Hello, welcome to LLG's Random But Real podcast, where you'll hear conversations about any and all things random with an entree, not a side dish, of mental health advocacy. I use my performance, communication, and literary art skills to bring awareness about mental health and other topics. Therefore, whether I'm singing, speaking, or writing, it is my desire that my words will be melodic, just like music to your ears. Welcome to LLG. That's me, Leesha L. Gilliam's Random But Real podcast. Hello, everybody. LLG Random But Real. I'm excited. I guess we have a lot going on in the background today. So disregard that you heard, but we keep it random but real, so you never know what you might get on this show. So I am excited to have my friend. I don't know how long we've known each other.
A
We've
long
known each
time.
other. Okay, so it's what she said. Leesha Archie. She is a marketer and a motivator and a whole lot more. Um, I'm sure we'll get into all of that. Say hello to the people, Leesha.
Hello, people.
Hello, people. So thank you for taking the time to speak to just this platform. As you know, we have a little bit of everything on this show. And so yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, why don't you start with telling people how we met? Do you remember?
I think we met at one of the many events that you and I have been a part of. You as an artist, me as a host, or me just trying to figure out what was going on in the DMV as a fairly new radio person in the area. And yeah, I just kept seeing you around. I was like, well, I probably should get to know her.
Yeah, that's funny. I know one time, yeah, before I know you did eventually become host of some of my events, and then you got me on the radio to do some spoken word or even some other people's platforms and things that you were producing. So I appreciate that. I feel like that's what people should do, but that's not necessarily what happens. People kind of look out for themselves. But I do appreciate that that was not what you did. So thank you for that. All right, let's get into it. So, what do you have coming up next? Usually we talk about that at the end, but I want to jump into that in the beginning.
Well, coming up October 29th, I am hosting Real Conference 2022. And I'm really excited about it, just on number of levels, just because, Real Conference and the Real You has been near and dear to my heart for um, almost 20 years. And just kind of getting to this point of producing something and being scared in production, and producing all of the other things that go along with it, the training and the laundry list of things, greater than something that is catchy or kitschy, but something that will help people become restored, elevated, affirmed, and liberated, or real, in some
Hmm.
area of their life. And so I'm really excited. This year is going to be virtual, it's going to be free. Um, but people are more than welcome to sew in. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. And I really just want to present some information that will help people. This year, I think, is more about changing their minds about things,
Mm.
um, changing their minds about how they see a thing. Really, really paradigm shift in how we see ourselves, with our finances or with our bodies or with our spirituality or with our, ooh, what was the other one? Physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. So one of them, uh, just just
Okay.
getting the whole paradigm shift. And so we're just going to have some conversations. talk a little. It's not going to be very long this year, just because I want to be more pointed and more direct with the information shared.
Okay. And so are you the only person sharing, or do you have other people sharing the information as well? How does that work?
I've got other people sharing as well. So I can't release names just yet, but
That's fine.
I've got several other people who will be speaking towards those four areas, and just giving. I want to give people something to think about. Like, you'll have some tools when you leave. You'll have some homework to do, per se. Just, look it up. Like, I never thought about it, that, thought about life like that before. Let me see if any of these things pan out. So um definitely, because I don't know everything. I think we're all in a real process. Lives, somewhere in our lives, we're being restored, elevated, affirmed, and liberated, and then we got to do it all over again, because it is a continual process. um
Mm-hmm.
you know the thing about being real is not just like when we get liberated we have arrived. Yes, we have gotten to that particular place, but there's so much further that we have to go. And so once you figure out kind of your own process and how you go through things and how you navigate that space successfully, then you can utilize those tools to move to the next level, to do the next thing that you're trying to do. And that's really what I want people to get from anything that the real you puts out.
Okay. Sounds good. I had the opportunity to speak at one long time ago.
You spoke at the first real conference,
Oh my gosh, is
the
that the first
very
one?
first real conference. And I so thank you for that. I thank you um, for doing that and stepping in at the last minute, because I had another speaker lined up. Her grandmother passed away, and the fact that I could reach out to you and you were like, yes, and you knew what you were talking about. It wasn't just just say some stuff. Okay,
Like
sound
I'm a
smart.
real mental health advocate. Yes, it means a lot to me. So, but no, I think for me it doesn't matter what or how the opportunity comes. I'm thankful for the opportunity, and if I can help friend, number one. But if even if it's, I'm really passionate about mental health advocacy, because I've had my own struggles, and so this is what mental health, what I'm saying, looks like.
Right.
And I've always tried to have events, whether it was celebrate life or past to present, or just whatever myriad of events that I've had. Just try to have the spin, where we actually talk about that. And it's funny that you say that, because I know when you were hosting Celebrate Life, like it was one of the years that we were doing it. We had been doing it for a while, and then one time God had kind of laid in my heart to actually have facts. And so we moved it from May, which is actually Mental Health Awareness Month. So I could have kept it that month, celebrating my birthday, to September, which is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And so
Mhm.
I think that just giving, information, and letting people understand, especially in the church, but also outside the church. But I say especially in the church because a lot of church folk don't want to deal with the mental health aspect of things, counseling and psychology and
Right.
psychiatry. They just want to pray, which I am not anti prayer, but I also believe that sometimes you need a little bit more. Just like I'm not a physical doctor or physician, but sometimes I got to go see a real doctor because I don't know, what's
Absolutely.
happening. And so,
Absolutely. And I think, in this day and age, especially, after a pandemic, we are uh kind of in the space where we we figured out that prayer and supplication by itself might not work for some of us. We
right,
need to go talk to somebody with some letters behind their name, the right letters behind their name, that will
right.
help us, kind of get things back in line and shift our perspectives, because life has been life in, and it's a different kind of life that it's been doing, and we don't know anything about that life. We're so used to going and doing these things, and usually putting the things, especially our mental health, on the back burner. And now all of the things that we've been pushing back because we've been so busy are full frontal right now. And they are just right in front of us saying, we don't know how to deal. We don't know how to cope. we were cooped up for a year and a half before we started trying to venture outside, and then we had to go back inside. That's a lot.
Right.
That is a
Absolutely.
lot on people. And now I think we're, especially in Christendom, beginning to figure out, yeah, we might need a little bit more than this. There's some people who are still, like, nah, that ain't my thing. Okay, that's fine. I am of the perspective, if you need help in any place, any situation, any way, shape, or form, you get the help that you need. So if you
Right.
need some, help in the mental health area, get the help that you need in that space. If you need spiritual help, like, there are people I know I can go to for the spiritual help. It's usually, not Joe Blow down the street. Now,
Right.
Joe Blow might have some things to say, but he ain't studied. He ain't gone through the word. He ain't, he hasn't done the things. I need somebody there with some letters behind their name who have proper training, who know how to, at least give me a perspective change on what I'm thinking about a thing,
Hmm.
and I think that is what is becoming more and more prevalent now, um, with the saints, and I use that loosely and in air quotes, um, that we understand we need Jesus, absolutely, but we also need a therapist. Amen.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. I mean, I've learned so much. I was reading, I was trying to find it. I don't know what social media platform I was on before. Well, let me just start with this. I feel like you just need to be trained because as you know, I decided not to get my license, but I've
Hmm.
been a therapist, counselor, all that stuff tied in for over 20 years. I do have my master's degree. I have studied. I do know what I'm talking about, and I take constant trainings, to try to keep up because a lot of stuff has changed from when I got my master's degree years ago. There's some things that were not even in practice or in place or what, definitions that it was completely it wasn't even existing or didn't exist
Right.
then that
Right.
exists now. And so I do believe that you have to be trained, and that's in every area. Because yeah, but that's neither here nor there. But I was finding I've done so many different things wrong. I do so many different things wrong. And by wrong I mean sin. For those that my Christian brothers and sisters, and I was listening to you talk about real, and then I thought about the I guess meme I saw where it was talking about it was I think it was about authenticity, and one of the things that it was saying is like being honest with yourself and just I guess being honest about what it is that you've done. And I sometimes didn't feel like I was real or authentic because
Hmm.
I had done so many bad things in my life that even if I talked about it, it's just like I don't deserve to be in those spaces to help elevate and heal and restore, or what I'm saying. I didn't feel like I should be a catalyst to help other people. And I feel like that's like such a huge mental or mind game or trick, when you know that you've been called to do something, which I'm clear about what I'm called to do.
Hmm.
Um, but like I said, this is also, a mental health platform. And so how do you think real and the things that you are addressing will help, people who are struggling with, um, their mental health or their mindset surrounding, the four areas that you're trying to, get them to have this paradigm shift.
Well, I think, and to your point of not feeling worthy of, you know, being able to affect change in these areas because you're going through in some of those areas yourself. Like, we all struggle with that. I think, um, religion has done some of us a disservice in making us feel unworthy. However,
Mhm.
the scripture that I hold near and dear to is that we overcome through the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And
Mhm.
so, and also the fact that Jesus used all kinds of random people who had who've done worse than I have. I mean, okay, there's been an adulterer. Okay, that was me at some point. But listen, I ain't killed nobody. He done use murderers and whatnot. So why couldn't he
Right.
use me? And I really
Right.
had to go back honestly through my own real process to rediscover that. And the first part of that is restoration. I had to unlearn some things and
Right.
relearn some things. Some of that came through therapy, some of that came through my own study and trying to make sure that the things that I'm putting out, the information that I'm putting forth, because that's not my area of, like as far as mental health, that's not my area of expertise.
Mhm.
But I connect with people who have the letters behind their name, who have the training to make sure that what I'm putting out makes sense. Like we have to be restored. That's the only way we can move forward. Because if we try to move from a broken place, we're going to stumble and fall all the whole time trying to talk about
Right.
elevation. We elevating on broken pieces and it's just going to fall down again.
Yeah.
No, we want to be able to move forward wholly, like
Right.
completely. And so that takes some work, which is also something we don't want to do. We want to
Mhm.
make God a cosmic genie and be like, Jesus, fix it. Blink, blink, like I dream a genie, and we're fixed. No, there's some work we have to put in.
Right.
But in that work that we're putting in, we understand more about who we are and how we navigate through life. And there's certain things you'll find out about yourself. You'll find out what kind of coping mechanisms you have and whether or not that's good or not. However, you're trying to be real, whether it's mental, emotionally, or whether it's physically. Like I don't go to the gym, right? And I'm a plus size girl. Um and so I know that one of my coping mechanisms is eating. Well, I
Right.
can't really do that no more because that doesn't help me be healthy.
Right.
Um, and I'm okay. I'm not working towards the exercise. Let's just be real, but I am working towards being healthier. And so, like, what do I need to do? What are the things I need to put in place? Okay, well, I don't need to eat 4 cookies from Tough Guys, no matter how good they are. Okay, so then I just back down to 1.5. But you know what? I'm making progress. Okay,
Progress.
so,
Right. Right. Right.
and
And you know what, I feel like we have to, I'm sorry to cut you off, Leesha. Like I feel like, progress is huge and it looks different for everybody. I
right.
went through some stuff just uh, recently that I know that I received judgment for. And by the time this, because we pre-record the podcast, you all, by the time this one drops, my first book will be out.
Whoop whoop.
It will be released. And so I share a lot of, things that have happened to me, a lot of my bad decisions and poor choices and stuff. And there was a point to this. I've been a really long day. But I've learned that, a lot of people may not understand the progress I made. But if I'm doing something less than I was before, or I'm increasing something positive more than I was before, that's still progress. And so I do
Absolutely.
think that we have to have some type of, leniency in the sense of stop judging me. That's really how I feel. Like one of the reasons I started this tell all in my own book is because if I tell it, you can't tell it. Like you're not gonna understand. And one of my coworkers, she's like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm as ready as I'm gonna be. Whoever's not gonna like what I say is not gonna like what I say." But the gifts of God are without repentance, and so He's called me to do some things, and I still gotta do them regardless of what I'm saying, what I've done in my past or even what I decide to do tomorrow. But hopefully tomorrow I don't decide to do what I did in my past. You know what I mean?
and
It's a
and that's the
everyday, day
point.
by day walk. Yeah.
That is the point. Like we have to be able to celebrate our own progress regardless of what anybody else says, because everybody has their own measuring stick and they don't know
Mhm.
all of the things that we had to go through to make this little bit of progress that they're thinking. Well,
Right.
you just out here doing whatever. You just listen, you don't know. Like I said, if we're going back to the cookie, okay, I used to eat all 4 cookies. Now I only eat 1.5. That is progress. You just see me eating cookies. Listen, what you don't know is that I used to throw down on this whole box and now I'm not. So
Right.
I celebrate me. Don't celebrate by eating the other half of the cookie, but I celebrate me in other ways. So,
I feel you.
just taking the moment to celebrate the progress with the commitment to progress even more. The problem with progress, when we go through things and the process, is that we get stumped because we're not moving as fast as we think we should. We get stumped when we
Mhm.
think that well, there we started at the same time and she done lost all this weight, or she's in a much better place than I am and I am not in that place. Why? And you do the comparison thing, and then you get the imposter syndrome, and then you just stop. So now you're not even making any progress whatsoever. We have to celebrate the small things and commit to doing something else small, because little
Mhm.
by little we will find ourselves in a further away from where we were. We will find ourselves restored in a particular area. We'll find ourselves, our mindsets changed about that thing. So we can't even go back to that space because that space feels foreign. That space feels weird. That space feels like, nah, I don't want to be there no more. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want
Right.
to go that way. I don't, because that space was not, it wasn't it. It wasn't it.
Right.
That was hurting me, and that was making me doubt who I am and making me question all of the things that I have inside of me. Well, I can't do that anymore. I
Mm.
don't want to feel like that. Now, I may not feel like the world's greatest, whatever moniker you want to have, but I feel like I'm doing better. I
Mhm.
see that I'm doing better, and I can do more. So that's when you restore your mindset, you restore your things, and you elevate yourself by doing the things that you know are moving you forward. And then as you're going forward, even in the times that you feel some kind of way about the process, you're like, okay, hey, we didn't eat 1.5 cookies today. We only ate one cookie. Whoop whoop. You can do it. You've done it. You've come down from 4 cookies to one. Come on, let's keep going. Let's get down to this quarter of a cookie, because that's our goal, a quarter of a cookie. And then when you get to that point where you can eat a quarter of a cookie, be satisfied, then you're liberated from thinking you had to have 4 cookies to begin with.
Mm. That's good. I'm not there yet, but
Oh, girl, listen. I ain't
I no, I
there
think
with the
it's
cookies. I
great.
ain't there. I ain't
I
there.
think it's great. Yeah, you talking to somebody who we had the county fair this weekend, and like I said, this is course pre-recorded, and so yes, all I wanted was a funnel cake, and I drove to get my funnel cake, and you got to pay to get inside of there. So it was
Mm-hmm.
just good to kind of treat myself because I work so hard during the week, that I'm just like, this is what I want, and yep, so that's what I
Girl,
got.
listen, I got a friend up in your area right now, and I told her she ain't never been up there. She don't know. She's in Baltimore. I was like,
Okay.
hey, I'm gonna send somebody with some stuff from the Amish market. I'm gonna need you to bring that back. You know how I feel about the Amish market. So yes, that is something I'm working on
I
as
do, I
well.
do.
But listen, we got to get real. Listen, I'm making progress. I
Right. I
didn't,
think the
you
first
know,
step is admitting it. And,
right.
a lot of people don't even want to admit it. And so I've learned that sometimes we admit and we're stagnant. Sometimes we admit and there is movement. And sometimes, there's tremendous success. And so we fall in all those different categories. I think that that's where your friends and support and, those people, like you said, that are trained can help us move forward. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did want to ask you this before your logo were stairs or a staircase was real. Is that still the case?
No, my logo is now more of a shield, because I am working on developing trainings um
Mhm.
that are still I still have the steps actually on my Facebook page as my cover photo, and then my profile photo on there is the kind of shield situation. Um but it's definitely still a step process. Like, somewhere in the training there are steps, a visual of steps, because you know that's kind of it's one step at a time. You can't just run up and be there. Sometimes you might be. Maybe you're at that point where you're like, okay, I think I can do this, you know, and I feel like I'm ready to run up these particular stairs. That is great. Most of the time, it's one step at a time, and you stand on the step like, ooh, we do it. Do I got to go back up? Do I got to go
Right.
up another another level? Because this too much. And
Yeah.
but again, like with any other thing that we do, anything that we're trying to move forward in, like even school, like when you got to move forward to a grade, you got to do some hard work to move forward. When you're in college, there's some work that you don't want to do. Like, who
Yeah.
wants to write a 26-page paper? Who wants to do a doctoral dissertation? Nobody really wants to do that most
Right.
times anyway, but you know that is something that you're going to have to do in order to move forward. And
Right.
so when you know and you have determined in your mind that this is something that you want to move forward in, that this is something that you want to grow in, this is something that you want to accomplish for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. Don't worry about what other people say, what other people think, what other people are doing. You have to do it for yourself because you know that there is something inside of you that is greater than the space that you're in. So you know you have to be in a better place, whether it is emotionally or physically, financially, or spiritually. You know you have to be in a better place to be able to affect change. And you know that there is something you have to affect change in. You might not know what that thing is or what that place is specifically, but you know that there is something inside of you that will change the world. So do the work. And it's hard. And again, like you said, Leesha, having that support system around you to cheer you on. And let me put this in real quick. If your support system, in air quotes, is not supporting you, you
Right.
need to let them go on and support whatever else they want to support, because that ain't gonna help you neither. And
Mm.
sometimes, most times, there'll be some people that fall by the wayside.
Right. And like I say, I mentioned this in the book, shameless quote, um, that everybody doesn't deserve to be in the front row or of your theater, which is symbolic of your life. And
Mm-hmm.
those seats are expensive. They don't cost the same as the behind the seats in the behind or the last row,
Mm-hmm.
um, or the middle of the row. Anyway, like you usually have to pay some more money, so count the cost, and then
Right.
but I'm worth it. Like, you want to be up in this theater, you want to see me up close, you want to get to know me for real, then you're gonna have to do something different. And I think that I'm finally at the place. It took me years. I'm not. I'm 49, but yeah, it took me a lot of years and a lot of trauma and a lot of pain to understand that everybody wasn't riding for me or had my back, and a lot of people used me because of gifts and talents. They're not mine anyway, but I say they pimped me. Sing here, Leesha, speak here, do this, whatever I could do for them. And meanwhile, I was hurting and not really, getting to know myself. And so it took all of these years and all of the experiences that I've had to get to this point. And I'm grateful for where I am, but I have a long way to go. And prayerfully, God will give me enough years to be able to get, continue to get it right. Because, like you said, it's every day. But even the word says every day, brand new mercies, I see, daily. So, with that being said, how can people get in touch with you? Number one, and if they want to register, because you said it's virtual, or do they have to register? Is there a cutoff date for real for the conference?
Um, there will be registration. It's not up yet. I just had to put it out to make sure I do it, honestly. That is
Okay.
my real process because I get scared each and every time I think about it. But I had so many people asking me about it from so many different places. Like, I know y'all don't know each other. What? Why are you all asking me about it
Mhm.
this year? But you can visit therealyou.life and you can find out how Real got started. You can find out just a little bit more about what the Real You will offer in the very near future. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can go to therealyou.life on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
And that is
Mhm.
TheRealLife.
The Real You, the letter U. So
Okay.
TheRealu dot LIFE. therealyou.life.
All right, I left out the U. All right, got it. The real you dot life. I'll make sure that I put that on the podcast title, and so that's how they can get in touch with you. That's how they'll find out about the conference. Is there anything else you want to say before we part?
Yes. One, thank you, Leesha, for the opportunity to share um, on your platform. You know, knowing you all of these years and understanding your passion for people and for them to thrive, especially in the area of mental health. I thank you for just sharing your heart, your journey, and allowing me and others to come on this platform and hopefully be helpful to the people who tune in and to you as well. And I would just encourage anybody who's um, just kind of in a place and is a place you don't want to be. I would encourage you to go through your own real process. Be restored. Whatever you need to do to make that happen. If you need to go to therapy, great. If you need to go get hands laid on at church, great. If you need to do something else, if you need I I don't know. I can't even think of all the things that I have. You'll see it in the training very soon. But get restored, and then you can be elevated in your process and be affirmed and affirm yourself throughout the process, understanding that things are moving forward. However, whether it's baby steps or giant leaps, you're moving forward. And then you'll be liberated from the thinking and the actions that had you stuck before. And then incorporate the tools that you learned in that process as you move forward.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Leisha, for being on the show. And you all can now hear this on Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcast, Podvine, Spotify, and Anchor FM. We are growing, and so you don't really have an excuse. And some of these are also on YouTube, on my YouTube page, which is youtube.com/one singing lady, and that's spelled out OneSingingLady. That is my YouTube page. You can also find me on TikTok, Twitter, um, Facebook, and Instagram at One Singing Lady, and that's the numeral One Singing Lady. I would love for you all to follow me, connect with me. You can even subscribe to this podcast, and it's a very nominal fee, but it also does help me to be able to do some other things in the future. And go to my website, www.LeesaLGilliam.com, and Gilliam is Gilliam. You can find the links for my book, my music, poetry, whatever. So most of the things that I do, I always try to come back, to help others with some type of mental health spin. Just want to try to find different ways to connect with people and let people know that they're not alone. And I'm very proud of you, Leisha, to see, all of your progress over the years as well. And it's always good to catch up with somebody that knows you. We've had some experience,
Absolutely.
that's for
Well,
sure.
thank
All right,
you.
it's been wonderful. You have a great one. One singing lady out. Have a good evening, everybody. Please note any comments made on this LLG Random But Real podcast by myself, Lisa One Singing Lady Gilliam, or my guests are our own views. They are not to be made or determine an actual professional or in lieu of an actual professional. If you relate to any of the topics, please seek professional help. Contact a therapist, a psychologist, any other mental health professional, or if it's an emergency, please call 911. Thank you so much for tuning in.